Hi friends, welcome to SK Solutions. In this video, we are going to discuss about quadratic equations. In this chapter, we will discuss the nature of roots of quadratic equations and the three different methods of solving quadratic equations as per class 10 syllabus of CBSE. Let us go to the video. Some basic points to remember in this chapter are: algebraic equations of degree 2 are called quadratic equations. Standard form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a not equal to 0, b and c can be 0. That is, the coefficient of x square should not be equal to 0. The other coefficients can be 0. For example, 3x square plus 5x minus 4 equal to 0, x square plus 3 is equal to 0, 5x square minus 6x is equal to 0. So in the first case, we have all the values of a, b and c. In the second case, we have the coefficient of x 0, that is b is 0. In the third example, we have c 0. So b and c can be 0, but a should not be 0. What will happen if a is equal to 0? If a is equal to 0, then the second degree term will not exist. That will be converted into bx plus c equal to 0, which is a linear equation. That is why a should not be equal to 0. Roots of a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is the value of the variable x for which the equation becomes true. Some more points we have here are: solving a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 means to find the roots of the equation. Roots of a quadratic equation are same as that of the zeros of the quadratic polynomials, which you have already discussed in the second chapter. The value b square minus 4ac is called the discriminant of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, because this value discriminates the nature of roots of quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, whether the roots are real, unequal, or real equal, or non-real. Now let's see the nature of roots of a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. There are three different cases, such as if b square minus 4ac greater than 0, that is, which is a positive value; if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0; and b square minus 4ac less than 0, which is a negative value. If b square minus 4ac greater than 0, then the quadratic equation has real and unequal, that is also called distinct roots. If b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then the quadratic equation has real and equal roots. If b square minus 4ac less than 0, then the quadratic equation has no real roots. Let us take up few examples to understand this topic. Find the nature of roots of the quadratic equation 3x square plus 5x plus 2 equal to 0. You can have a 1 mark, or 2 marks, or 3 marks questions from this topic in the board examination. The given quadratic equation is 3x square plus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0. Let us compare this with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. We get a is equal to 3. We get a as the coefficient of x square, that is 3, and b is equal to 5, and c is equal to 2. On finding the value of b square minus 4ac, we get 5 square minus 4 into 3 into 2, which is 25 minus 24 is equal to 1, greater than 0. What is it if b square minus 4ac greater than 0? What is the condition? Yeah, the quadratic equation has real and unequal roots. Therefore, we conclude that this quadratic equation has real and distinct roots. Now let's take the second example. Find the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation 3x square minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. In this case, the given equation is 3x square minus 6x plus 3 equal to 0. Let us compare this with ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This time we see the value of a is 3 and the value of b is negative 6. Please take care here. Many times children, you don't consider this negative sign, you just say b is 6. B is not 6, b is negative 6. Okay, b should be negative 6 and c is equal to 3. So b square minus 4ac, when we calculate it, we get it as 0. So b square minus 4ac, if it is 0, what is the condition? The condition is the quadratic equation has real and equal roots. The quadratic equation has real and equal roots. So we conclude in this question, this quadratic equation has real and equal roots. Taking up the third example, we get find the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation 2x square minus 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. The given equation is 2x square minus 3x plus 4 equal to 0. On comparing with ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, we have the value of a as 2, the value of b is minus 3 and the value of c is 4. So on calculating b square minus 4ac, we get it is negative 23. So negative 23 is a negative number, so which is less than 0. So if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, our condition is quadratic equation has no real roots. So we conclude in this case the quadratic equation has no real roots. So this is the topic about nature of roots of quadratic equation. You can get one question from here. Moving further, let us discuss the different methods of solving a quadratic equation. So the methods of solving quadratic equation, there are mainly three methods of solving quadratic equations, namely the method of factorization, the method of quadratic formula using the quadratic formula, and by completing the square. These are the three different methods. So let us take up each of these methods one by taking up few examples of each type. Okay children, first let us see the factorization method. This factorization method is nothing but the splitting middle term you have done in your class 8 as well as class 9 polynomials. So let us take up an example. Find the roots of the quadratic equation x square plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. The given quadratic equation is x square plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. So what is the coefficient of x square here? There is no coefficient written here, but you know if there is nothing written, then what is the coefficient of x square? That is 1. Yes, but we usually don't write the coefficient of x square as 1. Okay, so what we do here is we will multiply this 1 with the constant term negative 5. What we will get? We will get negative 5 minus 5. So the coefficient of x multiplied by constant term gives us negative 5. Now we take up this negative 5 and write it as the product of minus 5 and 1. And we also add this minus 5 and 1, we get minus 4. What is the coefficient of x here? The coefficient of x is plus 4. So we will write this negative 5 as 5 into minus 1. Negative 5 also can be written as 5 multiplied by minus 1. What is the sum of these two? 5 and minus 1? Yes, it is 4. So we are getting the coefficient of x here. 4 is the coefficient of x. Now we will split the middle term, that is 4x, as x square plus sum of these two numbers into x minus 5 is equal to 0. What are the numbers? Yes, the numbers are 5 and minus 1. So we fill up this bracket with 5 and minus 1. And now opening the bracket, we get x square plus 5x minus 1x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now what we'll do? We will take up the first two terms and we take up the second two terms. The last two terms, sorry. From the first two terms, we can take the common factor as x and write it as x into x plus 5 minus, from the last two terms we can write minus 1 into x plus 5, which is equal to 0. Now what you see here, in the two terms we can see here there are two terms, x into x plus 5 and minus 1 into x plus 5. Out of this we can see x plus 5 is again a common factor. So we are going to take out this common factor once again. So x plus 5 will go into one bracket, and from the first term we get x, and from the second term we get minus 1. So we are getting x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now you know the product of two numbers is 0. That means any one of them can be 0 or both numbers can be 0. You know this, isn't it? 2 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0, or 0 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So one of the numbers can be 0 or both the numbers can be 0. So let us assume the first bracket is 0, that is x plus 5 is equal to 0, and the second bracket is 0. X minus 1 is equal to 0. So if x plus 5 is equal to 0, we get x is equal to minus 5, and if x minus 1 equal to 0, we get x is equal to plus 1. So what is the solution of this equation? The roots of the equation. So the roots of the equation are x is equal to minus 5 and x is equal to 1. So this is the factorization of quadratic equations and finding the roots. Now we will take up an example where the coefficient of x is not 1. In that case, what we will do? So the second question is, find the roots of the quadratic equation 4x square minus 9x is equal to 100. So here you just check, this is not in the standard form. So first of all we need to write it in the standard form. So we write the given equation is 4x square minus 9x minus 100 is equal to 0. So we multiply 4 with negative 100 and we get that is equal to minus 400. Now in the last question we have seen we have minus 5, negative 5, a small number, so we could write all the possible factors of minus 5. Now here this is a bigger number, so we cannot write all the possible factors, it is too time taking. So what we are going to do in this case is we have to write this 400 as the product of two numbers and minus 400 as the we have to add those two numbers and we should get the coefficient of x, that is minus 9. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will write minus 400 as the product of two numbers, and on adding those two numbers we should get minus 9, which is the coefficient of x in the equation. So how will you find those two numbers? For that we are going to factorize 400. You know 400 can easily be divided by 2, we get 200, again 2, we get 100, again 2, we get 50, again 2, we get 25, now with 5 we get 5, and with 5 we get 1. What we are going to do is here we need to group these factors into two groups and we will get two numbers from there, so that their sum is minus 9. So on checking the factors, when you multiply all these factors, of course this product is going to be 400. There is no change. But we need to group these two factors in such a way that their sum should be minus 9. So if you check in that way, if you connect all these 2's, which gives us 16, and these two 5's will give us 25. And 25 into 16 is 400. Now the product is minus 400, so one of these numbers should be negative. Okay, and the sum is negative, sum of two numbers is negative, which will tell us that the bigger number must be negative. Which is the bigger number here? Yes, it is 25. So 25 must be negative. So we conclude that minus 25 and 16 are the factors of minus 400. So we will fix this minus 25 and 16 here, that is minus 400 is equal to minus 25 into 16, and minus 25 plus 16 will give us minus 9. Now this factorization part is over. We will come back to the equation. We will split the middle term as 4x square plus something x minus 100. What is that something? How to fill up the bracket? Yes, we have to fill up the bracket with minus 25 and 16. Now opening the bracket, you will get 4x square minus 25x plus 16x minus 100 is equal to 0. We will take the common factor from the first two terms and we will take the common factor from the last two terms. Okay. So you will get x into 4x minus 25 plus 4 into 4x minus 25 is equal to 0. Now you can see 4x minus 25 as the common factor. So that will go into the first bracket, and from the first term we get x, and from the second term we get plus 4, and the second bracket is completed. So the factors are 4x minus 25 and x plus 4. Now the product of this is 0. So you know again the product of two numbers is 0. That means any one of them or both of them must be 0. So first let us consider the first bracket is 0 or the second bracket is 0. If first bracket is 0, we get x is equal to 25 by 4, and if the second bracket is 0, we will get x is equal to negative 4. So the roots of the equation is x is equal to minus 4 or x is equal to 25 divided by 4. We will move on to the second method, which is the completing the square method. Okay, I will explain this using by taking an example to find the roots of a quadratic equation. X square minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, the given equation is x square minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. We are going to compare this equation with a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to a plus b the whole square, or a square minus 2ab plus b square is equal to a minus b the whole square. You are very well aware of this identity, isn't it? Now, I will explain it in some steps, like some rules. Make sure the coefficient of x square is 1. First of all, we have to see the coefficient of x square here. Yes, it is 1 in this case. If it is not 1, then we have to divide all the terms by the coefficient and then make it 1. This is the first rule. So in this question, the first rule is already satisfied. So our coefficient of x square is 1. So we write the equation x square minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. Second rule is write the middle term as plus or minus 2x multiplied by half of the coefficient of x. What is that? I'll show it here. Out of the 6x, we just simply write minus 2x here. Since it is negative here. X square minus 2x. Simply write 2x, and then you look at the coefficient of x here, that is 6. Take half of that. Write that half of the coefficient of x in a bracket. And take this positive 3 to the other side of the equal to sign, that is negative 3. And in the next step, third step, what we'll do, add the square of half of the coefficient of x on both sides. So we have added the square of half of the coefficient of x is 3, and we have added 3 square on both sides of the equation. You know, when we add something to an equation, we have to add it on both sides of the equation, otherwise there will be a change in the value of the equation. Equation will not be true. So we have added 3 square on both sides. Now you check the left hand side. Now the left hand side has become a perfect square. Look at this. This is a perfect square. What is the square root of that? Yes, it is x minus 3 the whole square. If you expand this, you will exactly get this. Okay, and right side is negative 3 plus 3 square, which is 9. So you will get is equal to 6. And in fifth step, we take the square root on both sides. On taking the square root on both sides, you get square root of x minus 3 the whole square is equal to plus minus root 6. What is this plus minus? Let's see. If you multiply root 6 with root 6, we will get 6. If we multiply minus root 6 with minus root 6, then also we will get 6. That means 6 has 2 square roots. One is plus, one is minus. So you have plus minus. We need to write plus minus here. Then only we are going to get the two values of x. You know the quadratic equation will have 2 roots. So that 2 roots you can get if you write plus and minus, then only. Next, We will simplify this. Square root of x minus 3 the whole square is x minus 3, which is equal to plus minus root 6. Now let us split it. X minus 3 is equal to plus positive root 6, or x minus 3 is equal to negative root 6. We get x is equal to 3 plus root 6, or x is equal to 3 minus root 6. So the roots of this equation are x is equal to 3 plus root 6 and x is equal to 3 minus root 6. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now we will take up this second example where we need to find the roots of 3x square minus 2x minus 1 equal to 0. This time the coefficient of x square is not 1. Okay, let's see what can we do in this case. Make sure the coefficient of x square is 1, otherwise, now we will use the second part, otherwise divide all the terms by that coefficient. Okay, so the equation is 3x square minus 2x minus 1 equal to 0. What is the coefficient of x square here? 3. How can we make it 1? We have to divide all the terms of this equation by 3. So I am going to do that division. Okay, so when we divide it, you will get like this. Second step, write the middle term as 2x multiplied by half of the coefficient of x. So what we are going to do is, you write this 2x here. Okay, just blindly write 2x here. No need to think anything. X square, if it is minus, minus. If it is plus here, you put plus here. X square minus 2x you write blindly, and then check the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x is 2 by 3. What is half of that? The half of that is 2 by 6. How will you get half of a fraction? To get half of a fraction, you just double the denominator. Here the denominator is 3, so you double it, it will be 6. That's all. Next step, add the square of half of the coefficient of x on both sides. So if you add the square of half of the coefficient of x square on both sides, you are going to get 2 by 6 the whole square. We will add on both sides. Okay. Now the left hand side has become a perfect square of x minus 2 by 6 the whole square. Now children, you understand why we call this method as completing the square method. Because we are completing the perfect square on the left hand side of the equation. Then we get x minus 2 by 6 the whole square. Okay, that is the reason the method name is completing the square method. So on simplifying the right hand side, we get 16 by 36. Next rule says take the square root on both sides. Okay, we have taken the square root on both sides, and the square root will have two values. 4 by 6 multiplied by 4 by 6 is 16 by 36. Negative 4 by 6 multiplied by negative 4 by 6 is also 16 by 36. So we will get two answers here. X minus 2 by 6 will be equal to plus or minus 4 divided by 6, or x minus 2 by 6 is equal to plus 4 by 6, or we can write x minus 2 by 6 is equal to minus 4 by 6. Or on simplifying, you will get x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 1 by 3. So the roots of this equation 3x square minus 2x minus 1 equal to 0 is x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 1 by 3. So this is the method of completing the quadratic formula method, is also known as Sridharacharya's rule. Okay, this rule is found by Sridharacharya. That's why it is known as Sridharacharya's rule. So in quadratic formula method, what we do, first I am going to show you how the quadratic formula is derived. Okay, let's take 2 minutes to understand how the formula is evolved. So this formula is evolved from the completing the square method. Okay, nothing else. So let's take up the general case. Find the roots of the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. You know, this is the standard form of the quadratic equation. The given equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. We compare this with a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to a plus b the whole square. First rule is make the coefficient of x square is 1. Here the given equation is ax square. Okay, here the coefficient of x square is a. So we need to make 1 here. So for making it 1, we need to divide it by a. So we are going to divide it by a, and then taking c by a on the other side. So next step is write the middle term as plus minus 2x, in this case plus 2x multiplied by half of the coefficient of x. What is it? We are writing blindly, this is x square plus, okay, and we write blindly 2x here, and then check the coefficient of x, that is b by a, coefficient of x is b by a, and double of that means take double of the denominator, a becomes 2a. So b by 2a is half of the coefficient of x. Next step says we need to add square of half of coefficient of x on both sides. So we are going to add square of half of coefficient of x square on both sides. Okay, you get like this, and this has become the square of, okay, x plus b by 2a. If you use a plus b the whole square in this bracket, you are going to get x square plus 2x into b by 2a plus b by 2a the whole square. So that on the right hand side, minus c by a plus b square by 4a square, on taking LCM, LCM is 4a square, we get minus 4ac plus b square, which is same as b square minus 4ac divided by 4a square. Now take square root on both sides. So taking square roots on both sides, we get like this, and x plus b by 2a is equal to, when you take the square root of this, as I have mentioned in the last two cases, you have to take the positive and negative values, both the values, that is plus minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a is the square root of 4a square. On simplifying, you get x is equal to minus b divided by 2a plus b square minus 4ac by 2a, or x is equal to minus b divided by 2a minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a, or x is equal to minus b plus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a on taking LCM, or x is equal to minus b square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Now finally we can combine both of them in this form. X is equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So this is the way this formula is derived. Now we will be using this formula in the next two questions. I will be taking up two more questions in this video, and then this session will end here. Find the roots of the quadratic equation 15x square minus 28 is equal to x. Again, this equation is not given in the standard form. Let us convert it into standard form first, which will be 15x square minus x minus 28 equal to 0. We will compare this with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. We get a is equal to 15, a is 15, b is equal to, the coefficient of x here is negative 1, and c is equal to negative 28. So we write the values of a, b and c. After that, we will write the formula. We use the formula x is equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Replacing the values, we get this expression. Okay, I think you can understand it. And on simplifying, x is equal to 1. This minus of minus 1. Okay, minus of minus 1 will become plus 1 here. So 1 plus minus root over 1 plus 1680 divided by minus 2. That is 1681. What is square root of 1681? We can find it as 41. So x is equal to 1 plus minus 41 divided by negative 2. Let us split it. X is equal to 1 plus 41 divided by negative 2, or x is equal to 1 minus 41 divided by minus 2. On simplifying, x is equal to 42 by negative 2, or x is equal to negative 40 by negative 2, which is x is equal to negative 21 and x is equal to 20. So the solution or the roots of this equation, roots are also known as solutions of the equations. Here the roots of the equation are x is equal to negative 21 and x is equal to 20. The last example we will see in this session is find the roots of the quadratic equation 2x square minus 2 root 2x plus 1 equal to 0. The equation is in the standard form, so you can straight away compare with ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. What is the value of a? A is 2 here and b is equal to negative 2 root 2 and c is equal to 1. So by replacing these values in the formula, we will get x is equal to minus of minus 2 root 2 plus minus root over minus 2 root 2 the whole square minus 4 into 2 into 1 divided by 4. On simplifying, you get 2 root 2 plus minus root over 8 minus 8 divided by 4. So x is equal to 2 root 2 plus minus root over 0 divided by 4. So x is equal to 2 root 2 plus 0 by 4, or x is equal to 2 root 2 minus 0 by 4. So we'll get x is equal to 2 root 2 by 4 and x is equal to 2 root 2 by 4, because we are getting, this is the case of discriminant. You can see we have discussed about the discriminant in the beginning of this video. This root over b square minus 4ac is called the discriminant, and that value we are getting here as 0. Since that value is 0, we are getting equal roots. So the roots are x is equal to root 2 by 2 and x is equal to root 2 by 2. Children, do we need to write this 2 times? Yes, we need to write it 2 times because it is a quadratic equation. It should have 2 roots. Okay. Unfortunately, the roots are same, but we have to write the roots are x is equal to root 2 by 2 and x is equal to root 2 by 2. This is the case of equal roots, real and equal roots, since b has b square minus 4ac has become 0. So this is all in this video, friends. So this quadratic equation, almost all the topics except the NCERT questions, the concept I have explained. I hope you understand this very well, and I will come back with some other topics and some other chapter. Thanks for watching.